first-time fix rate. Check us out at deximaging.com or give us a call.
In Ocala, dial 352-433-4090. That's 433-4090.
Hey, this is Matt from Crossroad Auto Sales. I want to invite you to come over and check out our vehicles. All of our vehicles at Crossroad Auto Sales go through a rigorous 100-point safety inspection. We work with most outside finance companies, and we even have in-house financing available. Stop by today at 1800 Northwest 10th Street or give me a call at 690-6695. That's 690-6695. Crossroad Auto Sales. We won't leave you stranded at the crossroad.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Auto repair with personal care, we know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. If you have a question about your car, the noise your car is making, the way it's tugging to one direction or the other, if you have a question about cars or trucks, Matt is here to answer your questions. The number here right now is 352-622-9622. That's 352-622-WOCA. And, of course, if you want to call Sunrise Automotive or Crossroad Auto Sales, let me give you those numbers. 352-690-1993 for Sunrise Automotive. Woohoo! And for the auto sales, 690-6695. Did I get that one right?
Woohoo!
And good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good, Larry. How are you?
I think that was a first. I don't remember your commercial ever being scheduled right before you went on the air.
As a matter of fact, I didn't even know that commercial was airing on this.
Oh, really? Well, I hear it all the time, but I don't know that it ever came on. So now it's actually part of your video, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Got to add and everything. See, when I started coming up, I started your video a little bit early. I said, oh, okay, I'll get this on there. So.
All right. Thank you, Larry.
So how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Tell me about the 100-point safety check that was in that area. What does that mean?
To be honest with you, it's actually more than 100 points.
Is that right?
Yeah, but we just, for the sake of
an ad.
Yeah, me and Dan were just like, let's just make it 100. It's easy. You ought to hear what we go through. We have an absolute hysterical
fun making ads.
Oh man, it's just ridiculous. I can't say like certain things and Dan makes fun of me, and it's just comical how when we do these commercials.
It's so hard. I mean, you have so many things you do, and in 30 seconds you have to tell people what you do.
Exactly. And then and I'm the words just don't come out right. Dan laughing at me, and they were trying to do it like take 74, for a 30-second commercial. Take 4 days to make it. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous, but. When we do these safety checks, and we call them PDIs, it's something that we created within our company. When I worked for General Motors, when we would buy brand new cars from the factory, then they come in on a truck, and then they go in the service department, and we would do a PDI, a pre-delivery inspection. We'd put on the hubcaps and fill all the fluids and make sure all the devices and everything, all the accessories, everything works, and if there's something not working. Nowadays it's like you got to check the computer programs. Like you'll order cars, they'll come in, and by the time they leave the factory and get to your dealership, there's already updates for certain.
Oh my gosh!
So you got to update, and so it kind of gets crazy. So what I did was I kind of took that whole thing that I grew up and learned in working for General Motors, and we just kind of we made it work in the used car market. So. A lot of the dealers that buy cars here in town, they buy them at auctions, they buy them off the street, they trade-ins, however they acquire the vehicle, they can bring it to Sunrise, and then we go through that car, and we have a list. I created a list. I mean, we check everything from the seat belts, like Crossroad. All of our cars at Crossroad Auto Sales, they go through this rigorous 100-point safety check. I mean, we check the seat belts, we check all the lights, we check all the fluids, we check. Now they're used cars, so we check belts and hoses and brakes, and we pull all the wheels, and we just go through and just check all this stuff. And then I get a report on every car. Now, typically, for my own cars at Crossroad Auto Sales, I buy those cars myself. I put my hands, I go look at them, I bring scanners, I do my due diligence because I need to buy the best car I can. And we benefit from it exactly on our end of it. And not just the customer, but we all benefit. I don't have to do as much to them. Everybody benefits. There's an old saying in the car business: you don't make money selling cars, you make money buying cars. So when I go, and my intention is to buy the best car, and price, to me personally, I'd rather pay a little bit more for a better quality car, which means I also may have to sell it for a little bit more, but it is what it is. I might have to sell it for a little bit more because I paid a little bit more. So, those things that we check, and we really do these things. It's not like some make believe just for an ad. We do them, and then once I get a report, every car that I buy, I get the report. Now I have to determine right then and there: do we fix the car? Do we do all these things to it, or do I just run it back through the auction and maybe get my money back? And we'll just I make that. It's my call. That's my decision. And I can honestly say that in all the years that I've done this, there's only been a handful of cars that I screwed up on, and that's the way I look at it.
That's a good track record.
I messed up. And every time that happens, I violate my own rule. And I have a rule that when I go buying a car, and especially if we're at an auction, and I don't know if anybody's ever, a car auction is kind of a crazy place to be. I mean, you got like 5-6 lanes going on.
I'd be lost, yeah.
And there's yelling and screaming and hollering going on, all the, you know what I'm saying? And if that car comes up and it catches your eye, and you run over there and you start bidding on that car, I won't say I'll never do that. I try never to do that. And the reason is because I didn't check that car out. And usually those are the cars, that handful of cars. Oh, no. That's the one
that's usually the way it is, yeah. All right, you have a phone call, Matt. Let's take that call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt Gibbs.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. See, are most of the new cars coming out now without transmission dipsticks?
I don't know about most. There's a lot of them. A lot of them don't have dipsticks anymore.
How do you go about checking your transmission if you can't really pull a stick out,
Well, some of them have indicators within the dash system itself. It'll tell you if the transmission fluid is full. Some of them, they have a tube, but there's no stick in it. So there's actually a tool that we use to put in there in that tube. And you have to have a scanner, so you have to scan the car. You have to get certain data information and certain temperature, and it really relies on temperature. So the car at a certain temperature with this special tool that we use to put in the tube, there's numbers on it, and there's a chart for that particular year, make, and model of where the line of fluid is on this tool. So. There are ways of checking it, but unfortunately, a lot of the guys that do stuff at the house, they can't do it themselves unless they go out and buy the equipment.
I suppose the best thing is to just follow your owner's manual, and when it says change the oil to trans oil, change it, I guess.
Well, you change it, but then you always got to verify that it's full or not. So that's the difficult part of doing it at home. Is I don't know a lot of guys that have scanners and the equipment that it takes to service a transmission now. The new GM truck transmissions, there's not even aftermarket fluid. You can't go to Napa or AutoZone or CarQuest and buy transmission fluid for some of these new Chevrolet trucks. You have to go to the dealer. And matter of fact, the dealer, I had to buy some from Palm Chevrolet the other day for a newer Chevrolet truck we had in the shop. They didn't even have it by the quart. They had to literally sell me they get it in the 55-gallon drums, I guess. They had to put it in a gallon jug and sell it to me. So the fluid's not even available. And they will tell you, do not put any other fluid than this new GM fluid in the transmission. You will mess it up. It will break.
Oh, wow.
Say, man, when you go out and select cars for your lot, is it a deal where you take the car and you have a certain amount of time that you bring it back to your location and you check it over real good? Let's say you find something that's really bad. Can you take that car back and get a refund? I mean, is there like a time limit on that?
Certain cars are ours. It depends on the year, the mileage, and the status that the car is being sold. When we go to the auction, there's green light, there's yellow light, there's red light, blue light. All these different lights represent something. So if you buy a car, let's say you buy it and it showed and it went through the auction at red light, then that means at the end of that sale, whenever that car is done, it's gone through the lane and the last bid is bid, and they agreed to accept your money. That's your car. You have no recourse. You have no opportunity. You have nothing to say about anything. If you bought that car and you didn't do your due diligence, if that car doesn't have an engine in it, that's your car with no engine, and there's nothing you can say about it. If it's a green light ride and drive, if there's you got to be real careful when you're buying a car. Who are you buying it from? Are you buying it from a used car lot? If you're buying it from a new car store, or are you buying it from a wholesaler? I like buying cars from a couple of wholesalers here in town. They'll tell you it's green light, it's ride and drive. If you go and you find something wrong with that car, usually with me, they'll a lot of times they'll discount the price to help offset the cost of what it is I need to fix. But there's other things, like if it's got it could be a green light, which are saying it's a good car, but if it's over 100,000 miles, then there's no arbitration. If it's under 100,000 miles and I go out and drive that car, and let's say the rear end is making noise, or the transmission's slipping, or there's a knock in the engine, I can go back and I can arbitrate it. And there would be an arbitrator at the auction. I go meet with the arbitrator, show him what's going on with the vehicle, and then we all kind of get together and decide what's going to happen at that point. If that applies to that vehicle. Every car and every dealer and every situation is different.
Yeah. Well, it's like everything in life. I guess there's a lot of guesswork to a certain extent when buying a used car, but I know you back your stuff, and you have like regular programs for your used cars?
What do you mean by a regular program?
Well, I mean, like a warranty, like so many miles on a warranty, and so forth. I
have different things available to people. I would say that 90% of what we do in-house financing for folks. So if our financing policy is on this particular car, let's say I don't finance anything longer than 36 months. So let's just say we're going to do this deal for 36 months. And the payments are $250 a month for 36 months, and then the car's done, it's yours. Well, for those 36 months, if you bring that car to me every 4,000 miles, we will service that car. We'll change your oil, check your fluids, check your blinkers, kind of give it a check over every 4,000 miles for the entire 36 months. If that car needs to have any type of repair done, it's time for brakes, it's time for a tune-up, it's time for an alternator, a starter, something happens to the car, we have an internal rate that that every single person that buys a car from Crossroad Auto Sales is entitled to, and that's forever. For as long as they own that car, you can bring that car to Sunrise Automotive, and we give you an extended pricing, a special pricing on parts and labor for as long as you own the car.
Wow, sounds very good. Okay, well, thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good call. And the number, if you'd like to call in also, is 622-9622. So getting back to that pre-delivery inspection, right? Uh-huh. That sounds like something we would benefit from. Like if I brought my car to you and said, look, I don't want to sell it, but if you could just do the same thing you would do before you buy it, then I would know that I have kind of a car that is almost like new off your lot.
Well, and we do that. We do that. We do that for customers. They'll say, just go through the car, and we do it a safety check.
Can I ask the price? How much is that?
It's if you brought your Buick in,
right,
it's $89.95, and that includes an oil change. So you get your oil change done, and you get your safety check, and we do the same exact procedure that we do with the PDI.
And you give me a report on the.
And I give you a report.
But I mean, the tires, are they part of that?
Yeah, everything.
Now, wow. Okay.
Well, what's that commercial? The guy says, "Hey, how are you guys with brakes?" Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, just pretty good? That cracks me up. So, no, we do a great job going through. And we'll give you, when we give you a report, here, now, this is the difference that I have seen because I own the company and been in business for a long time. When I have a relationship with you. So when I give you that report,
right,
you're going to take it as this is what Matt's guys found. A lot of people will take it as, look what he's trying to sell me.
Oh, right.
I'm not trying to sell anybody anything.
That's exactly what I know about you.
And then all I want you to know is this is what we found. Because what they do to your car is the very same thing that those guys are taught and trained to do on my own cars. So I don't treat you any different than I treat myself.
Yeah.
Now, and then on the flip
That's why we go to you.
And then on the flip side of it, we also have a program set up for companies that have multiple vehicles. We call those vehicle maintenance agreements. We do the same thing. We charge, it's more costly, but we charge a fee, and we do the same check, and we do the oil changes, except for with companies, what they do is they can bring their car in every 4,000 miles or 4 months for a whole year. And that covers all the oil changes and inspections for an entire year. And then we have a fee for them, and with gas it's one price and diesels it's another. So if you want more information, if you own a company with multiple vehicles, and if you want some information on that, you can always give me a call at Sunrise, and we'll be happy to explain that to you too. So, and that's something a lot of the construction companies here in town, they come to us. The guys, they come in, we change the oil in the morning time, and boom, they're gone. And they don't have to worry about paying and getting reimbursed and all that kind of stuff. So it's something that me and the guy's name is Tim Wilden. He works for Triple Crown Homes. He came into my office one morning, and it was something we kind of developed together, and it's kind of taken off, and we did it years ago. So it worked out really well.
If you'd like to call Matt and ask a question about your car or about maybe some of the things that he offers over at Crossroad Auto Sales or Sunrise Automotive, the number here right now is 622-9622. So the other day, I forgot my password to my bank, okay? And I did it enough times that they locked me out.
Right.
And it was crazy. It was so crazy. And I only have like a few variations, so I don't know what I was doing wrong. But anyway, long story short, I called them up, and the guy said, no problem, Mr. Wood. Let me help you out, though. So you're going to have to answer these questions. So on my screen now, there's a question. Where does your nephew live? In Georgia, son. What city in Georgia? I'm thinking, oh my God, what city? I don't know what city he lives in. So I did a Google search, and guess what? It told me where he lived. So I said, oh, I know this one. Which one of the following cars have you owned in the last 5 years or whatever it was? Well, the only one I wasn't sure of was this car called a Sebring, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, is that the car I had for like a week or a month? So I clicked the box. I said, gosh, I think that was the car. And it was, right? A Sebring? The convertible one? Yeah. Yeah. So I couldn't believe that was one of the questions. They know. They know everything about you, don't they?
So that wasn't something that you filled out one time and you answered?
I did not. No, I never thought. I don't even know where my nephew lives. Well, I do now. He lives in Waycross. But I honestly didn't know. I mean, I knew he lived in Georgia. If it said what state, I was, he lives in Georgia.
Oh.
Wait, one of them said, who's your firstborn nephew? This was not this time. This was another time. Yeah. And I don't know. I don't remember telling people that stuff, but they know it, don't they?
Yeah, but you sure you didn't say something?
Oh, I promise you. I never told them. Who would I tell that I had a Sebring?
Well, a lot of times when you open up a checking account or whatever, you have to have those 3 security questions.
I know.
And you didn't.
I am telling you.
What bank is this? Can you say it?
Across the street? I don't want to say.
Okay.
It's across the street. It's got a carriage and a horse. And
I know with my bank, they changed up their whole, the way you go online, do online banking now. And every time now I have to get an authorization code to go into my own account.
Oh, they send it to you on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time now.
Yeah. I don't have that with my bank. I have that with something else, though. I think it's with Google or something. I think every single time they send, then my phone buzzes and I have to put
What happened here? I couldn't even come do the radio show last Tuesday because we had no...
Oh, that was the city of Ocala.
That's twice they've done that.
Yeah, well... They needed a mechanic. Well, they're fine now. It should be better, actually, now that they got it all worked out.
It should be better. So we've had it for a week now. Is it any better?
Knock on granite here. It's working pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this like all optic fiber and stuff?
Exactly what it is, yeah.
Switched over?
Yeah.
So, like, the internet in here is way better than it was?
The internet here is amazing, yes.
Really?
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
I'm trying to text my wife, and we have the junkiest internet at our house, and now I think we can get that optic fiber through the city.
Ask Dan, what do we have? Because if you can get this at your home, you'll be really happy.
Okay.
I prefer to upload stuff from here. I'll put it on a thumb drive.
And then take it home.
And then bring it here. Oh, yeah, or the other way around, back and forth, yeah. Oh, you got a message?
Yeah.
From?
I got a message from Bob Halley.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Dan answering our question. Yeah, so I don't know what the speed is. I don't know anything about that stuff, but I can tell you this, that if you upload a video here, zoom, it goes right up.
Wow.
Try to do it at my house. It's like 45 minutes at least, and it's not even a long video.
You hear that? Whoop.
I heard it. Whoop. You sent somebody something. All right, we got a few minutes left. If you want to call in and ask a question about your car, the number is 622-9622. If I could just say this, Matt comes in here, and so it looks like from your perspective out there that I have to say good things about Matt. I honestly go to Matt because he's been good to me. He takes care of my car. He sold me a car. My car broke. Let's see, what happened to my car? I hit a cow, and Matt was taking care of that car forever until I hit a cow. Then it was like beyond repair. And Robin and I had a gig, kind of a gig up in Chattanooga. We had to go to this convention or conference, whatever. And I needed to call like right then. I'll buy a car when I come back. And Matt just handed me the keys. Go. I had no. You can't do this with everybody, but you didn't even ask me for papers. Nothing. Had the car. Now you had the control to turn it off, right?
Yeah, I could have turned it off, but I didn't.
So anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I trust Matt. That pre-delivery inspection that you told us about, that 100-something point inspection. That sounds like a really good idea. $89 is a good price, and that includes the oil change.
Yeah, yes.
So it's really only $50 or something, right?
Yeah, and they go through it, and they literally go through the car.
Because I would like to know that my car is safe for a long trip.
That's probably something like we have a lot of companies that do it, but those guys, man, we have some folks that they'll put 4,000 miles on a car a month. You know what I'm saying? I
bet you my son does that much.
But for the average guy, like, for me and you that just use our car to go back and forth to work and stuff like that, every couple of years have it done. Every couple of years, you're having everything checked. And here's the other thing that I don't like going to the dealer for, because your car has 30,000 miles on it. They want to sell you a 30,000 mile service, which includes all this stuff. And then it's 60,000, all this stuff, and it's all this stuff, and it's all this stuff. And sometimes you don't need all this stuff. Do you know
what I got the other day?
You got a bunch of stuff.
I got a letter addressed to me, and it looked like a girl's handwriting. Handwritten letter. I'm thinking, now what could this be? I opened it up, and it was a handwritten letter offering me a deal at a local car dealership. Now, the zip code on the postmark was Kentucky. So what does that tell me? That tells me that this isn't handwritten by anybody. Right. This is a computer that looks like it's handwritten, so that I'm going to read something instead of just throw it away. To me, I'm not going to trust that dealership.
You know, when I went in this morning, I checked my fax machine, and on my fax machine is a piece of paper, and the piece of paper is saying for $79.95 a month that this company is going to give me 100 new names to call and reach out to, I guess, and move into this area every. I'm like, man, I ball that thing up and throw it away. You know.
You want to squeeze in one last phone call? Looks like you got one here. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Good.
Quick question, Matt. On these newer cars, I'm pretty handy. I've done everything from automatic transmissions to engines. Newer vehicles, they have this oil mileage lifespan.
Okay.
I ended up buying I have a 2018 Sierra diesel I picked up. I took it to the dealer at 4,000 miles in New York before I drove down here.
Okay.
They're telling me my oil's only 60%. I have another 4,000 miles, which to me, I'm still out of the school that, get it out of there, especially when it's new.
Right.
And how does this actually work? I mean, is it on a matrix that based on your acceleration? It's some kind of computer formula? I mean, because oil is oil. I know it's cleaner now. I know engines burn cleaner, but how do they figure that? I mean,
it's crazy. The new car stores, they're really working off the percent. Like you said, it's showing still it has 60% of life left. It doesn't matter how many miles you go anymore. I was talking to one of the service advisors over at Palm Chevrolet, and they don't go by mileage anymore. They'll still put the sticker in the windshield, and that's really basically to give the person the confidence or the comfort of knowing that there's still this oil. Mm-hmm. But when they go through the service drive at Palm Chevrolet, these guys are being taught and trained, check the percentage of the oil life.
Yeah, I basically had to argue with the service manager. I said, it's 4,000 miles. It's, and he goes, oh, no, it's not due. I said, yeah, but I'm taking a long trip. He goes, no, but you can get it done. I said, still, I guess I'm a little too old school.
Yeah, and
especially in a new engine, I like to get that braking stuff out of there.
Yeah.
Something here or there, I want to get it out.
I'll be honest with you. There is no break-in oil in the new cars. It's the oil that calls for it. If it's if you're like yours is maybe. I'm not even sure on the new diesels. It's like it's not 1540 anymore. It's something else. I had to look it up, but
I'd have to look it up too, because if I got to add oil to it, I got bigger problems.
That's right. But I'm like you. I want to know. I want to change the oil at a certain interval, especially down here, especially during the summer, especially because we're extreme weather conditions, where the heat. No one's going to convince me that letting this car go 10, 12,000 miles on this oil is a good thing. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. And up north, you have the other extremes.
Exactly, with the cold and stuff.
Mornings,
that's right. No, I'm with you. And I can always reset that thing and set it back at 100% and go on with it. But I'm going to change the oil at a certain interval, and I'm going to do that for the rest of my life anyways.
Well, yeah, that's how I am. But the thing is, when I bought the vehicle, they tell you have free oil changes at our dealership as long as you own it. So now I'm reading into this saying, yeah, maybe if they don't change it, then it's free,
Right. No, but here, maybe figure out the intervals, and you may have to have it done, maybe get it free every other time. That's what I have some of my customers doing. They get it done every other time. When their percentage is down to, I think it's like 5% or less, then the dealer will go in there and change it.
I pull a car trailer, so if I'm towing on the interstates with just 1,000 miles at a clip, so I'm really particular about it.
Absolutely, I think your car is going to appreciate you for that.
Oh, it does. I sold my last one. It was a 12, and if I told you what I got for it, I got $40,000 for it in May for a 2012 diesel, and they above what retail was going.
Right, and that tells me how you keep your stuff.
I wish I kept myself that good, Matt.
Me too.
Listen, guys, I enjoy your show. I'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, sir.
Good conversation.
Thank you.
Good show today, Matt. Thank you. How do we get a hold of you if we want to take advantage of any of those things?
Give me a call at 352-690-1993.
There you go. Thank you, Matt. And call us if you need that number repeated. We'll be glad to do that for you. Thank you,
Larry.
We'll be right back.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. 5 separate fires that broke out in Lake County over the weekend.